Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Monday Merriment. Today is November 11th. The moon phase is waxing, and the moon sign is in Pisces. While the moon is in Pisces, it's a great time to do spell working through fantasy play. Use your imagination. You can get dressed up and act out things that you want to actually happen. There's so many things that you can do with fantasy play. We'll do another video. I'll do another video in the future about that. Also, during the Pisces moon, it's a good time to create art that is used for magic. All kinds of art. That could be painting, drawing, sewing, even singing. Singing is one of the greatest forms of prayer. Really, it is. Okay, and then also during the Pisces moon, it's a great time to increase psychic awareness. Well, I've been keeping myself busy, and there's times where, I want to dig into some of the projects that are going to take a lot of my time. And then there's times where I want to do something, but I don't want to do a whole lot. I just want to do something simple that doesn't require a whole lot of mind work. Okay. So I wanted to pick up one of my old hobbies, and I decided to look into some beads at Walmart. I was at Walmart a few days ago. And, a few years ago, I was into making jewelry. Now, this is not something that I've been like known for, but I do enjoy putting together pieces of jewelry. Now, a lot of people would say, well, are you making magical jewelry? Sometimes, okay, but this just jewelry right now, I am just enjoying putting together beads. I'm not doing it for any specific purpose, but definitely you can absolutely put beads together for magical purposes. Actually, if you go online and look up beads, right, just beads in general, you can find a plethora of a variety of them. Okay, and they have different shapes, different colors. They actually do have magical symbol beads if you look for them. But I picked up this particular bundle of beads. It's the Mega Fashion Bead Assortment at Walmart. It was reasonably priced, right? And a lot of my beads from a long time ago got lost. I know when I had a person that was living here, she's passed on, but she was living with us, and she would use a lot of my materials to make things, and I had no problem with it. I actually enjoy doing arts and crafts and people and doing art in my house, so it didn't bother me. But I knew I needed to replenish my supply of beads. So when you open the pack, you get 6 individually wrapped assortments of beads. I love the colors in this pack. I'm using a lot of the blues and the reds in this pack. I mean, I think these beads are very, very pretty. Now, if you do get interested in beadwork, you making earrings or necklaces, you're going to be able to have access to a lot of different options because, I've even gone to like the Dollar Tree and found like earring posts to make earrings. You'll find them at Walmart, and anytime you go to a store, you could check out the arts and craft aisle, and there's different kinds of beads, and you might become like a passionate collector. I did have some additional beads at home, and so I, of course, am going to incorporate these old beads that I have with the new beads and create um, some earrings. I might make some necklaces. Now, the reason why I wanted to get into beading, like I said, sometimes I want to do a very simple project. And why I'm encouraging you guys to try beading is because I would say beading is a relatively inexpensive hobby. And you can find beads pretty much anywhere. Like I said, I've even seen them at the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I've seen beading accessories at the Dollar Tree as well. And, the good thing about when you make something, you can give them away as gifts, and that's a very inexpensive gift to make, but it's something that's going to last a long time. And also, what I think is important is if you make jewelry for yourself, you're doing something that's individualistic. You're expressing yourself through your own style and how you put together the beads. And here are just a few of the pair of earrings that I made with this new pack that I got, and incorporating some of the older beads that I had. Um, what I think I like the blue ones the best. The blue ones on the lower left-hand side. I don't know if you can see exactly all the little design work on those beads, but what it is, it's basically a blue bead. It's got splashes of light blue on it, as well as little gold specks. And then I also, my second favorite pair would be the other blue pair on the upper right hand corner. If you will notice though that the design on this particular earring, it does look kind of like a mandala. So if you want to enchant these earrings, you definitely can. Okay, for magical purposes. Like this could be these symbols on this particular earring that could be used for protection. But when I'm looking at blue and incorporating more blue into my life is because, I'm feeling extremely connected to spiritual things right now. And, not to be weird or anything like that, but, I'm constantly thinking about, divinity and stuff like that. So this is my thing right now. Now, this is not like intentional, but I do know that I'm drawn to the color blue right now a lot, and so I might decide to enchant these earrings, or I might not. I might just use them as accessories. And when it comes to you guys making jewelry, it really is up to you. I also wanted to say, I did mention that there's different varieties of beads that you can get. I do. I'm not sure. I have never seen them myself, but I have been looking for like real turquoise. Like if you could like chisel them down into beads. I don't know if they actually have stuff like that, but you can make use of turquoise colored beads, okay? Because you're using the color of, you're working with color magic. I will say that, like, real stones are great because they have a very strong vibration. So if you can get that and you can afford that, hey, by all means. But, I'm satisfied with what I have right now. This Thursday, November 14th, is a good time to do prosperity spells of all kinds. The moon will be in Taurus, which is a very long and stable sign, which is one of the best signs, in my opinion, to cast spells or any sort of intention. So here are a few ideas, that you could do on Thursday. You could burn a green candle. Number two, you could perform a prosperity ritual if you choose to on your altar. Or you can use food magic, find a prosperous type food to consume in the evening or lunchtime or whenever. You could also do art magic. You could do drawing, painting, sewing, jewelry, wood and metal work, music, etc. Anything that is creative and used for the intent of uh, focusing on prosperity. And then also, you could burn a money drawing incense such as cinnamon, patchouli, jasmine. And when I say specialty blends, I'm talking about like you'll go to the store and there'll be a incense that's literally named money, or it might be called something like harvest time or something, or abundance or something like that. These sort of specialty blends are meant to draw in money. So these are just some of the ideas that you could do this Thursday as the moon gets fuller this week, and we are moving into a sign, which is the sign of Taurus, that is very long lasting when it comes to accomplishing goals. It is believed that the beaver moon gets its name from what the beavers do during this time of the year, which is building their dams in preparation for the cold season. When I think of the month of November, I think of like the round up the final harvest. Okay, during August, people start focusing on like the beginning of the harvest season, and I would say November to me is like wrapping everything up, and kind of like the beaver. The beaver is preparing for the cold season. That's exactly what humans are doing as well. So the beaver moon's going to be on Friday, and check timeanddate.com for the exact time to enjoy the full moon on Friday. Also, the moon will still be in Taurus on Friday. So Friday is a good day for like, family relationships, siblings, brothers, looking for romantic relationships of all kinds. Okay, so it's a good time to also do spells to focus on that as well. And just like the examples that I gave in the last slide, things that you can do, like if you have a family relationship, you may want to burn like a blue candle because that's a candle that brings in like unity and a calm sense of security within like a relationship. You can burn candles, burn incense that are good for relationships. I'm gonna say when it comes to like scents, incense or candles. Um, Sometimes you can find candles that are named patchouli, right? And don't get into the idea of thinking that patchouli can only be found in incense. It can be found in scented candles. I know a lot of people use things like those little plug-in scents. Those can also be utilized as well. Anything that kind of changes and shifts your environment into that energy is a good idea to use. But yeah, check out the Beaver Moon on Friday, and I hope you guys enjoy this full moon. Okay, so during my meditation, I decided to focus on doing some more celebrity readings. So how I do that is I write names down on pieces of paper and then I extract them. And whoever I pick, I do a reading for, or at least acknowledge or have like a little brief discussion, a one-sided discussion on my channel. So I had picked the royal family of England, and I'm getting some intuitive messages from them, and so I want to address them. First of all, I think it's really important for me to say that I don't have any hostility to the royal family. I do absolve them from guilt. Why? Because they were just following tradition. That's it, And a lot of people were jumping on that bandwagon. A lot of people do things without really understanding where they originated. And I get it. So I do absolve them from any guilt. So here are some of the things that I wanted to address when it comes to them. I do believe that I'm getting the intuitive feel that there's a lesson for everyone in this issue, and it's okay to talk about cloning and reincarnation. Now, I have talked about it in a few of my other videos, and me talking about CB Braganza and his experiences, and me learning more about the things that happened to him. I do know that if I came off like I was overreacting during this long period of time where I was dealing with the fake job interviews and stuff like that, it's just because I believe after such a very long time of being targeted, not just as Maria Gordon, but as CB Braganza, that I just have this instinct of like a fearful feeling that comes over me, and I may not know where the source comes from, but I've always had this, like, even as a kid, like I would get this nervous feeling when I felt like people were focusing in on me too much. So throughout my lifetimes, I'm starting to see this weird pattern. But no, when it comes to the cloning and reincarnation thing, it does blow my mind, and I do think about this issue deeply because of the spiritual significance of it, and I think about two families that have traveled throughout the centuries, whether we're coming back as the same person or a slightly different version of that other person. What I mean by that is, obviously I'm CB Braganza, but I came back as a woman in a different time period, okay? But we're basically the same person. And some of us are dealing with the consequences of some of our ancestors, such as what, I'm kind of dealing with that, or the direct result of the choice of creating clones in the first place, right? And so this was normal, you know what I mean? And I also was doing a lot of thinking about the cloning process. I'm not trying to make other people say, oh no, in cloning or whatever, but I'm just trying to focus on the cons of it. Like, there's a pro and there's a con to everything, right? And in my situation, not having a family, the people who came up with this idea, who put it into practice, which I believe at the time, people were very focused on being the number one. Like, they want to be the best. So throughout this strategy plan, they they thought it was okay to, I guess, go back and choose certain people to clone, and bring them back, for different time periods. And in order to do that, to create the same sort of DNA, or get the best out of the DNA, or create that same person, cloning would have to be necessary. And I understand that there may be some people who feel as though they're okay with cloning. They want to come back to the earth, okay? And I'm not sitting here saying that they shouldn't do that. I'm just saying for me, you know what I mean? When I think of comparing heaven to earth, I think heaven seems far more preferable, okay? But while I'm here on this earth, and I think when everybody is here on this earth, make the best use of time and make it as less burdensome as you possibly can to enjoy the little things. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I am not holding any grudges towards the royal family. Um, I'm thinking more about the original uh, purpose. That was beyond their control. You guys are just following orders or tradition or whatever. So I do absolve you from but I will say I was pretty freaked out during that time period. Okay, yeah, I also get the intuitive message that C.B. Braganza, much like myself, was not in favor of marriage. Now, when I say that I'm not in favor of marriage, I'm talking about my weird, unique uh, idiosyncrasies that I know I am not fit for marriage, okay? But there are a lot of people, that's not me saying people should end marriage, people should not get married. I'm just saying is if people do want to get married, then they should definitely know what that involves, okay? And there is a lot of, dedication that should be involved in a, in a marriage and a raising up a family. And a lot of people don't really realize just how deep it really goes. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people romanticize the idea of marriage and having a family. And it's not all that. I know when I was little, I kind of did that too because I would see so many great things on TV and movies and stuff like that, to where they made it seem like it was just like this romantic thing, and then you're going to end up falling in love, and then you're going to have this family, and you're going to do all these fun things together, and there's all this warmth and love. And as we can see that, that's not always the case. There are some people who have all kinds of drama that goes on in their family, backbiting, jealousies, competitions, whatever. And I do want to kind of touch on, the issue of people who might be pro-cloning. Hopefully, the thing is about the person who is a clone, okay? The sad part about them is, like, in my situation, the part that causes the most trauma, okay, is and I'm going to refer to it as Oz programming, okay? Because I did a video last week on interpreting what the Wizard of Oz was, and in the Wizard of Oz, I forgot to add this fact. Like, I was thinking about it last week. In the movie, or sorry, in the book, in order to really get the full view of the Emerald City, people have to wear glasses. That's the only reason why the Emerald City appears emerald, right? It's kind of like, there's been like this blinder on people for a very long time in reality, you know what I mean? And so, when it comes to me and my, let me pause this really quick. So when it comes to the blinders, it just seems like when I was younger, I think people kind of over romanticize marriage. And this is why a lot of people feel disappointed when they get into it. You know what I mean? And then there's some people who can roll up their sleeves and be great marriage partners. And I'm not one of those people. And I'm well aware of it. Okay. So instead of causing anybody any frustration and harm, I recognize that in myself. Hey, I'm not up to the task. But, leave those tasks and that responsibility of family raising to people who are responsible and who truly want to do it. Because I will tell you, in a family dynamic, for people to be well adjusted, the element of love should be there. It should definitely be there. So when I was talking about the pros and cons of cloning, here we are with me being put in an environment with siblings that are kind of lukewarm to me. Like I remember when we were younger, we got along okay, but it seems as though there was a lot of negative feelings and resentments that took place. I know that my siblings must have known that I was being bullied in school, but they either turned a blind eye to it or participated in their bullying as well. And then I know that my mom and my sister Lisa used to talk about me. So I'm, when you're cloned, you don't have real parents, so you got to go somewhere, right? So you're raised in a family that seems kind of lukewarm to you. You know what I mean? And I will say that when it comes to raising children, children need love and they do need stability. And children are, whether they're psychic or not, children can feel whether they're really wanted or not. And it's important that people know that. You know what I mean? So if people want to continue the cloning process, for people who, there are people who want to get cloned. I'm sure there are. There's people who want to come back another time or maybe another few rounds again before they decide to go home to heaven, right? If that's their choice. But in order to have a better life, I think it's important for them to be put in families that are truly wanting to have children. Because that's really important. Also, I was thinking about, I'm still addressing, the royal family of England, okay? As long as you see this flag up here, I am talking to you, okay? So the other intuitive message that I got is that, I've been wondering, okay, how exactly does the cloning process work, right? And I was thinking how, the intuitive message that I got is that, I don't really have a father. Like, yes, James Gordon raised me, and we are connected by bloodline because we traditionally, going way, way, way back to the whole Egypt thing, apparently, I was a half sister and wife of Tut, right? So I fully understand that. Okay, but in this setup, when I say the clone setup, you got the fake family. We had my dad, James Gordon, who was just my dad by, adoption or whatever. He was not my blood father, but it was a part of my fake family setup. So we have James Gordon, and I never had a real father. What it is I am the direct clone of myself. That's mind blowing, right? So, and I have been making reference to, like, in these last videos about how I view the Bible now. You know what I mean? And I do believe that the Bible was formulated based on some sort of tension in bloodline structure. Okay? And so I personally am now starting to see, like some people have always wondered, like, when it comes to the idea of the father and the son, like, people have always debated whether the father was the son. I personally am starting to think that cloning has a lot to do with the Bible, like the talking about these bloodlines coming up against each other, and they're doing this through cloning, and they're using the background of people in order to play them like chess pieces. Seriously, okay? Now just hear me out, and I will probably do a video on this maybe in future months, because right now I'm busying myself with other little projects here and there. But when I think of, okay, the son and the father are one, I'm thinking about this in cloning terms, okay? Now, how could that be? Like, this is what a lot of Christians used to wonder, okay, how is that possible? The son is the father. The son is the father through cloning. That's it. I mean, that's what I think, and that's what I'm starting to think. I think that the Bible talks about this cloning thing, and I think that the Bible, or the people who wrote the Bible, or the idea is to have some sort of tension within these bloodlines, okay? And I have never felt any tension towards anyone, really. I really look at myself as me as Maria Gordon, as well as Stevie Braganza. I don't really believe that I have, like, this need to, like, rage war on people. You know what I mean? And before I realized that we had this, like, little issue, like, you guys were, like, viewing me or whatever. I just remember hearing about you guys and seeing you guys in tabloids and stuff like that. And I do remember, really thinking that Capricorn 9's children were really cute. Like when she had her first baby, I used to just love him in his little short pants. He was super cute, and I've always liked that British look anyway. But no, I mean, but I never had any urge, any desire, any sort of like drive to have any sort of issue with anybody. You know what I mean? And I certainly had no interest in attacking religion. But do I believe that based on who we were in the past, like our past lives, that I believe that in these like little structures, these setups, when it comes to the Bible and stuff, that they are choosing certain people, or they, yeah, through the cloning process, certain people are being chosen to do certain things because based on who they are in who they were in past lives. Okay, so do I believe that I was chosen for something? I do believe that I was chosen to bring order. I believe that spiritually and genetically or whatever, my purpose in this on earth is to bring some sort of order, to make people understand something, to to uh, destroy or tear down negative processes and bring enlightenment. Okay, and that is not me saying that churches should end or close or anything, but do I think that they should change their structure a little bit? Yeah, they should. Okay, I mean, in order to be spiritually sound, you can't sit here and like preach a doctrine that really doesn't hold any water. But you have to look at things, a little bit more realistically. Okay, so yeah, I do believe that me being a clone, I'm a clone directly from CB Braganza. I believe that once CB died in the mental institution, his body was sent off to England. Okay, and because his body was sent off to England, um, they removed me here and then put me in England. And then, the whole process with the birth mother that they were using, I'm going to just refer to her as like, I guess, a breeder. And that sounds negative, but that's basically the only sort of relationship and connection that I have with her. So they used her as a mother, and then out comes me. Okay, but I'm basically just CB Berganza, a clone of myself. I have no father. I also get the intuitive message that C.B. Berganza wrote songs and sang, and which I believe the royal family of England is familiar with my history and everything. And I'm just learning bits and pieces about my history through intuitive messages and the little things that I have stumbled upon. I did stumble upon like two little articles that were written about C.B. Berganza, and then it referenced certain links that I could choose to look into if I pay a fee, and I really don't want to. I'm debating whether I want to do that or not. You know what I mean? Because I do know that it seems like C.B. Berganza had been covered in the press in old newspaper clippings from a long time ago. And it also references a song that he wrote. And so I do believe that he must have worked with poetry. And I am so much like C.B. Berganza. I'm so much like C.B. Berganza. I have no other choice but to embrace him. I love C.B. Berganza. I love his look. I like his history. I love everything about C.B. Berganza. And it's sad because so many people seem like they had like a lot of resentment towards him. And it's unfortunate that there was some sort of tension between the royal family at that time and now that, because I would never really want that. Really, I mean, I actually like Kate Middleton a lot. And, it's funny because I was talking about she's got this, a signature look about her. And, she's somebody who makes that coat that I just featured a while ago, very famous. And so I did buy one, right, just recently. It's something similar. Unfortunately, I don't think I look as good in it as Kate Middleton does, but I will tell you, I think she's a great person. Okay, so let's go on to the next message. I do see that I am recognized as an American citizen. I would say that's fair and just, mainly because the United States as well as Britain were well aware of this little play game that was going on, right? But and the funny thing is that people were all following orders and not really understanding where all this came from. So I'm not somebody who tries to shake up or destroy, what do you call it, religious views or anything like that. But I had to speak up because it was just getting out of control, right? But that's what it is. And this is what makes it the way that it was. There was an agreement between the United States and Britain. Both of you guys were involved in it, but you guys created a cool person because I love being C.B. Berganza and I love Maria Morton. So, and I think you guys should love yourself as well. And this is something that I try to teach people, is to love themselves and to add a little bit of their own special flair every day of their life. All right, because I think for a long time, because of what happened, the deep need of control of ancestors, and when I say ancestors, yes, I'm referring to your ancestors from a long time ago, before you guys took the seats and all this other stuff. Okay, sometimes we've all people have always been focused on being the best. You know what I mean? And sometimes people can get cutthroat, and when you get to have that desire to have that much power, you are opening yourself up to all kinds of negative things. And for a very long time, people have believed in things that led them to their doom or some sort of negative consequence. So on a spiritual level, I am here for that reason, to bring clarity. I really do believe, based on what I understand, in some strange way, this is all very spiritual. Very, very spiritual. So anyway, so I'm very grateful to be an American citizen. I love being an American citizen. But I got to tell you one thing. When it comes to England, I have always enjoyed the music that was produced out of there. I think British men are amazing. Love the style of England. I think it's great. Okay, now, I also get the message that I am known on the Shadow Channel worldwide. People know who I am. And I think that's cool. Like I said, it just took me by surprise. That's all. Okay. And I do get the feeling that there's a lot of people who are inspired to do good work for themselves, meaning like, they're finding themselves doing, whether it be art projects or finding something to hang on to in life. And I think that's good. And so when it comes to CB, Berganza, and the little issue that was going on with the royal family, hey, you know what? I think we should get along in peace. Really, I do. You know what I mean? And I think Kate Middleton has a great sense of style, and I think her kids are adorable. I think the first prince, when he first came out, he was so cute. I used to love his little short pants. I used to sit there and I used to look at his little legs because they were so cute in those little pants. Like, little kids are so cute. Anyway, so yeah, I'm cool with the royal family. So let's move on to the next thing. Okay, last week's synchronistic symbol was the rainbow. And speaking of rainbows, look at these cute napkins that I got at the Dollar Tree, I believe it was. And yes, this counts as actually seeing a rainbow. And of course, I bought the pack. But, it's kind of fun to put cute little things in your lunchbox. And I'm just like starting this little collection of different kinds of napkins. You've seen them in the packs. They're close to like the greeting card section. And you can get them really cheap, like places like the dollar store, like Dollar Tree or whatever. And, find something cute and just add that to your lunchbox. Anyway, I thought these rainbow napkins were cute. And since we were talking about rainbows for the synchronistic symbol last week, I thought I'd share with you. Okay, the first card that I pulled was a purple dragonfly, and I know that we've already done the dragonfly before, purple dragonfly. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and pull another card instead, or a piece of paper, and I ended up pulling up the blue dragonfly. So there's something about dragonflies going on right now. Dragonflies are a symbol of protection, for one thing, but they also symbolize a need to have a fresh perspective on things. So either way, if you see a purple or a blue dragonfly, just know that you're on the right track. And do remember, this week is a very powerful week. We have Thursday, the moon is going to be close to being full, and it's the moon sign will be in Taurus, and then we have the beaver moon to look forward to on Friday. So keep your mind and clear, and keep yourself open to seeing these wonderful symbols that remind you that you're on the right path. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this video, but before I go, I do want to shout out to 6 celebrities. First one is Jason Priestley. I want to say hello to you. The next person, hello, Michael Stipe. The third person, hey, I want to say hello to Seal. I also want to say hello to Yoko Ono. I do want to say hello to the Bakersfield community. No, you're not a celebrity, but you guys kind of are anyway. And then also, I want to say a shout out to Leisha Haley. Okay, so thank you so much for you watching and supporting my channel. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you. Bye bye.